Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. That's not yours. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat, taking stuff from the puppy, where you hang out with me in here and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Oh, today's banner shows I have a trademark for Snapplique. Wow. Does it? I do. I didn't do that. Interesting. Must be AI knows that that trademark came through. Yes, it did. Well, hello, girls. How are you guys? Let's see the girls. There's one. Where's Dottie? Where's your bucket? I have it right here. We've got to get Dottie in the picture. There she is. There's the little girl. Everybody wants to see your face, sweetness. Yeah, good morning, y'all. We were so good today, y'all. I don't want to tempt fate, but I would say that we are right at housebroken. We have not had any accidents or drama at all. Uh-oh. We had a jumper there. You guys need to come out here with Daddy, okay? You guys need to come out here with Daddy. Let me let you see her sweet face. You got to see this puppy. Look at this. She's getting to be a chunk, y'all. This is Dottie. She's our 3-month-old cowboy corgi. Come on, girls. We're going out here. Yeah, come on. Out you go. There's one for you. And don't you take hers. Yeah, there you go. Frito tried to take that out of her mouth. Oh, my goodness. I have to lock them out, y'all, or they, as soon as they're finished with their chew bones, they will start just romping and growling, and oh, it's nuts. It's nuts. Yes. Oh my goodness, y'all. What a day this has been. Hello, everybody. Look at y'all. This is great. 600 folks in here. Yeah, so I got notified. Last week. I got my paperwork from a trademark attorney that Snapplique is mine. Absolutely. So I got all of my, you like my Kahlua lamp? Isn't that cool? Yeah. Marina, one of my best friends when I was stationed in Albuquerque, her name was Karen Coffee, of all things, and she was a nutritional medicine specialist. And she would make these, and we killed this very bottle, with White Russians when my going away party when I was heading out to Korea. That was a long, long, long time ago. Oh, girl could put away some White Russians. I had two. She had the rest. My goodness. Yeah. My son has even said, Mom, don't ever get rid of that Kahlua bottle. I remember that from my childhood. 1993. Woohoo. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Oh, my goodness. Oh, your daughter just got stationed in Albuquerque. Kirtland is a fantastic. It was a great assignment. I really enjoyed it. I did 2 years there. It was a fun story. Yeah, to, remember those things that I had. Great friends in my life. It was actually me and Karen and my best buddy, Kim. Kim is now Kim worked for me. She was my best friend. And she is now living Guam, PI. She calls herself an expat. That's what they call themselves, those GIs that live overseas. She comes back to the States every so often. So this t-shirt's cute. Yeah, so much fun, so little time. It is the shop shirt from my girlfriend's quilt shop up there in Logan, Utah, Wolfpack Way. I just remember that name. So good. All right, y'all. So my goodness. Yeah, lots of fun. You were born and raised in Silver City. I tell you, I love New Mexico too. I always said if I didn't retire in San Antonio, I'd retire in the Albuquerque area. Used to take the bikes up the Turquoise Trail and up the Sandias, and then take the Turquoise Trail all around, just old mining towns. It's kind of artsy fartsy now, but very, very nice. Yeah, thank you. And the point of the trademark was so that the term can't be used, by other folks without my permission. So anyway, We are going to do Snapplique today too. So I wanted to just, run through it and show you how it's done. So Snapplique is for when you do not have an embroidery design. Now, the design we're doing today, okay. This, I don't think I missed it, but when I got this fabric kit for the Joy lumbar pillow, maybe I missed it, but I thought that this was just a sewing pattern. Maybe I missed the embroidery pattern, but I thought it was just a sewing pattern and it had a little kit. Okay. So I thought, well, this is a perfect little pattern for us to Snapplique because it's just 3 letters and we have an O, so we can talk about inside outside, right? We can talk about using inside outside recognition on the scan and cut for fonts. Okay. So I was going to make just this, and then they ran out of these kits, and I think there was such a demand for them that they went ahead and made, has the membership gone up? No, Connie, still 99 cents. I can't afford for the membership to go up. The taxes, oh my word, y'all. The taxes. I'm self-employed. I have to pay taxes quarterly, and I'm not a happy kitten, let me tell you what. Thieves, IRS. Ugh. Anyway, we're not here for me to gripe about that. Okay. So I thought this would be quick and easy to teach a little bit of Snapplique pretty quick. This will not go on the members only. This is a live. This will be out. So anyway, then now there is an embroidery pattern for this. The fabric kits are gone, and there is an embroidery pattern for this, and it's $12.99 at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and I have it linked below in the description box if you want to embroider it. My whole point was, this is the point of Snapplique, why buy an embroidery pattern when you can make it yourself using the Brothers Scan and Cut and Embrilliance? And to do this, your iPad says $1.49. That's not right, Connie. That's weird. It was 99 cents. I swear I didn't change it. I didn't change it. Anyway. Oh, you're welcome. Ellen says she's already made it. She's gotten ahead of the progress here. Made one using the method and put it on the Facebook page. Yeah, well, awesome. That's great. Good for you. That's awesome. So I haven't done anything to this. I haven't prepped the fabric. I haven't done diddly. I read the pattern and that's about it. So I thought we'd go through it, and you made your own Joy letters. Look at that. You can do that too. Once you grasp Snapplique and you start seeing these adorable patterns and stuff out on these websites, your brain is going to start going, oh, hey, I can make that, right? I can make that. But I love the cute fabric and all of that came with it because I want mine to look like theirs. So that's why I bought the fabric kit. Yours says $1.49 too. Y'all, I did not change that. That's interesting. I guess it went up. Maybe they did away with the 99-cent memberships and upped them to $1.49. That wasn't me. So that's the thing about hosting videos on YouTube. They are in complete control of all of that. They're in complete control of all of that. I don't have to worry about them deleting the videos. And you do get commercials in those videos. Thank you for joining, Monica. I appreciate that. Welcome. The next members only video will be out sometime next week. Okay. And it is the, oh, are y'all in California? I wonder if that's why. I don't know. Anyway, where was I going? I just squirreled. Okay. Well, oh yeah, so it'll be out next week. And it is the block 1 from Prairie Days. which is going to be the barn, the cow, the star, and the milk can with the flowers in it. So can you use a Cricut? I don't recommend it. You need the ability to scan. That in Snapplique, you really need the ability to scan, and you can't scan with a Cricut. You can cut letters. You can do that. You could go into Brother Canvas and create the JOI letters and then download them to your Cricut and cut them out. You could do that, right? And if you can download those SVG files, then you can import those into Embrilliance and create an embroidery design. The issue is when you're trying to, this is a very advanced pattern right here, okay? So when you're trying to get the ears behind the head of the cow, the tail, the udders, the legs, and all of that behind the body, and then the head of the cow on top, okay? That requires the ability to scan and get all that figured out. So anyway, that's one video a month for members only. And how do you become a member? So Christine, next to the subscribe button or thereabouts, there should be a join button unless you are on an Apple device. You can really see it pretty well on a computer, a desktop, or a laptop. If you're on an iPad or a phone, you need to get out of the YouTube app and go onto your browser and go to youtube.com. On a Chrome browser, that's the best, easiest. On a Chrome browser, because Chrome is owned by Google, just like YouTube is. And then the join button should be there on the browser. Search Power Tools with Thread, bring up my channel in the browser, and then the join button should be there. Okay, you just can't do it. Now, states can require remote online sellers to collect and remit sales tax. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. Totally on board with that. Yeah. And you guys, if what the membership price is, I have no control over the taxes on that. Okay. Zero. So if you're charged $1.25 or however much, that's the taxes added onto the cost of the membership. That is not me. So yes, if you get YouTube Premium, no ads. I do pay for that. That is the most wonderful thing in the whole wide world for as much time as I spend on YouTube. Let's get to doing this, shall I? All right. So I need to turn on my Scan and Cut. I have it right here by me. I moved it over here, and I'm going to move this over here out of my way. Let's trade places with the computer. See, my quilt was hanging on my long arm, and now it is hanging on top of my fabric thing. All right. My husband made me this cute little purple accessories box. I guess it's designed for the Scan and Cut to fit right in this little tray. I thought that was nice. He gave that to me yesterday. Isn't that cute? I'm forever having little things. So, all righty. And then this I got Allison and her husband on a sew and sale cruise, a little Scan and Cut. Isn't that adorable? All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn that on. So I'm hearing that if you see the join button on your iPad, it's a little bit more. Well, probably because Bill Gates wants his cut, right? I know he makes me all kinds of cute stuff, you guys. He got that 3D printer and he is loving it. All right, so I need to get these letters scanned in. So we have one page with the J and the O, and it's got a watermark behind it. See that? And then another page with the Y. So pretty easy stuff. Keep your hands away from the carriage. Okay, this is your on and then home, load the mat and pause. The two main buttons are pattern and scan and retrieve data and test. When you've got the SDX models, any of them, you really don't need to do the tests. You do need to do it with the other models. Now, this cabinet that my Scan and Cut is on, my husband also made that for me. Let me back up so you can see it. And it's got nice little cubbies in there to hold vinyl that I don't ever use and all kinds of stuff. But I like that flat cubby spot right there for my mats. And it has a flip up table back here. I need some space. Flip up table back here. And I'm going to put this little wing back. There's one on the other side too, but I just need some space. Pull that back. Okay. It's going to give me some work room. If you want to make one of these, there are no plans, but if you have a Bob the Builder in your life, you can go to my blog, powertoolswiththread.com, and type the word cabinet into the search box, and you'll get pictures with measurements. And this is 3/4 inch oak plywood. And my husband had a fit when I had him paint it. He did not like doing that, but I wanted it white to match my room. So, okay, this is a 24-inch scanning mat. The scanning mat has a dust cover on it, and only certain models of the Scan and Cut can scan a 24-inch mat. Okay, and it's the 225 and higher. This is the STX 325. So the 225 and higher. If you can only get one mat, I recommend the 24 so that you can scan 2 pages at once. And if you're only scanning 1 page, there is the ability, there's little codes down here, to tell you how to scan just part of it. But I only need to scan once because I have the 24-inch mat and I've got these letters here. So let me pop that in. I've never tried to do this with a watermark behind something. We'll have to see how that goes. Should be fairly easy. All right. So I'm just going to slide the mat in right here. See, now I only have to do it one time, which is nice. Slide the mat in right there in between these 2 little shoulders. And I'm going to load the mat. I know I touched it twice. Sorry. It's like, what are you doing? I did a quick tap, tap. All right. Apple tax is real. Okay, Quote Wench. Thanks. All right. So this is all done. Let me zoom you in here so you can see my remote. Hold on a minute. My remote decided it was just not going to participate with me this morning. I found the battery thing to it on the floor in Dottie's mouth. So I suspect it fell. And then I did throw away a battery yesterday. That's what that was too, obviously. All right, here we go. This is good. I'm going to go to scan because pattern are patterns that were in the machine when you bought it. Let me get my little stylus here. I'm going to hit scan. And when you do scan, you get direct cut. That's not what I'm doing. That's for fussy cutting fabric. Scan to cut data. Cut data is an FCM or an SVG file. They are one and the same. And scan to USB. Now, scan to USB will give you a JPEG, a picture. I don't want that, okay? I want scan to cut data. And then here, scan area, it says 12 by 24 on a black and white recognition, which is fine. And I'm just going to tell it start. If I wanted to do the color recognition, I could certainly do that and switch that back. There's a button. So what's going to come up is going to be Dottie gets blamed for everything. Well, usually that's well earned, honestly. Well earned. See, I set my remote down. I see the problem. The batteries were not, they were kind of out. Let me put this back in here and see if this works now. Let me turn it on. Ah, we're working. Excellent. Okay, so now I can use my remote. There we go, to zoom in for you guys. There we go. Good. That looks pretty good. So there's the J and the O. And we've got a down arrow. And there's the Y. Look, it looks green. I guess I don't know why it said it was doing black and white. Now, here on the screen, we've got 3 different choices of menu buttons, okay? So this circle and square welded together where you can't see the insides, that's outside only. That means just recognize the outside of the lines, okay? This is for regions, usually used for color. We're not going to use that. And this is inside, outside. So here you can see where they are overlapped. And if you have fonts where I want it to recognize the outside of the O and the inside of the O, if I only chose outside only, it would only see the outside of the O and it would not choose the inside. So I want inside, outside. And what it's asking is, what do you want me to recognize? Look at that. So that's pretty cool. That looks good. So I can see that. I've got the line fold of the paper. I've got some other noise all over this mat, and we need to clean it up. I'm going to do that in Brother Canvas. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to tell it okay because it figured out the inside of the O as well, and I'm going to tell it okay. So it's processing that. And then, yes, I can put dark construction paper behind it if you want to remove unwanted lines from the back image. So what she's talking about right here, what Carol, that's a great trick. I've shown this before. What she's talking about is if you have lines, if you have something printed on the back of the page, okay? I don't have that in this case, or I might, doesn't matter. That's not showing through. What's showing, what I am seeing is the watermark. The watermark is on this side of the page, and no amount of black construction paper is going to help that. So right here, it wants to know, where do I want to save it? I can save it in the machine, I could save it to the cloud, or I could save it to the USB. So I'm going to save it to the machine. I'm sorry, to the cloud. My bad. Saving it to the cloud and save successful. Okay, awesome. So let me back out of this. I'm done with this for now. Okay, y'all, my messy room. My 10 needle is completely loaded with all of the threads. Well, 10 of the threads, 10 of the 11 for Enchanted Winter. So I'm going to be doing Enchanted Winter on my 10 needle, and I'll be working some more on Autumn Love on my Luminaire. So I'm doing that. All right, let's get to looking at, what am I talking about? Brother Canvas. Something just distracted me, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to, I'm going to do the entire screen. We're going to have an infinity screen for just a second. Okay, so here we are on Brother Canvas. All right, and to get those, I'm going to just go to right here. We have My Projects. Don't confuse My Projects. Let me turn on my little presentation assistant so you can see my cursor. So you have My Projects, and then you have a project tab. This only allows you to do a couple of things. Okay, so we don't use that. And I'm going to click this. So My Projects is where I get all of the stuff, right? So I'm just going to grab this, and I need to clean up the mat. It's going to throw an error message about the size of the mat, so I'm going to tell it okay. And I'm not really worried about it because this is all going to, well, let's make it easy. I'm going to go to Project and change my mat to 12 by 24. There we go. So all I'm going to do now is grab those things that I want to keep and pull them off the mat. This is the easiest way to clean up the mat. I do want to make sure that the O, the two parts of the O stay together. Okay, so we have this outside line and this inside line right here. So I'm going to put my cursor out here and grab this one and this one. So I've only selected those two pieces, right click and group. So now they're one object, and the center of the O is going to stay in the right orientation with the outside of the O. Oh, y'all, I can hear Dottie growling. Let me select the J. Okay, this looks good. And the Y, and grab that. Perfect. Those are nice and clean. And so now I'm going to clean up the rest of the mat. I'm going to put my cursor up here in the top corner and just drag it down. Highlight as much as I can and hit delete on the keyboard. Make that nice and clean. And then scroll down and do the rest of it. And get rid of all of that noise. That's what they call it in graphics. Noise on the mat. All right, and I want the J. It's going to be its own. I can kind of see the darkened lines on the mat, okay? So this is going to be its own piece of fabric. This is going to be its own piece of fabric. And this is going to be its own piece of fabric. These are pretty big. I may or may not be able to, I should be able to get it all on a 12-inch mat. I don't know. This is looking like I'm down here near the 14. Okay. It just depends on how big I make the fabric. So right now, what you can do, you can see this little thing down here says StreamYard sharing my screen. Let me hide that. So when I click on this, right here, I can see how big this is. 4 5/8, 4 by 4.55. So 4.5-ish, right? So what I like to do is maybe add an inch, inch and a half to the size of the fabric I'm going to cut. So I'm going to get my little handy dandy quilter's notepad that I got yesterday in my box, or some notepad. So for the O, I'm going to use a 6-inch square of fabric. Okay. And we're just rounding up. You need enough on the sides around the outside of the cut to grip the mat. Okay. The J, let's see, that needs to be like 6.5. Let's go 7 by 3.5. So the J is going to be 7 by 3.5. Okay. And the Y, I'm going to add more. So let's do 6.5 by, 6, right? 4.5. Yeah. 6.5 by 6. Add an inch and a half all the way around. That makes things a lot easier. So we know we have plenty of fabric for these. Okay. This looks really good. I want to save this up here in the top left. I'm going to call it JOY. Okay. And I'm going to click the inbox to save it. And it's saved. Okay. That looks good. And I'm going to download. And right now I want to download it. It's an FCM. Again, that is the same as an SVG. They are identical. They do the same thing. They behave the same. And I'm going to click that. This is why you can't do this with a Cricut. Okay, this looks good. Let me remove that. There we go. Awesome. That was easy. That's how easy it is to scan in a pattern, right? And get all that. Now, the reason that the Prairie Days is so difficult. Do I have the pattern here with me? At least one page of it? Yeah. So the reason Prairie Days is so difficult, and that's why it's a members only video, is these pieces are not separated out. They have to be redesigned. See, so the top of this barn goes up under the roof on the top, that gable, okay? Same with the barn itself. It goes up under that roof. So those have to be redrawn. And that's what I show you how to do in Embrilliance, in the members only videos. They're more advanced. Members only videos are going to make you really your game. Okay. All right. What was Betty Boop? Why didn't I send it to the Scan and Cut? Well, because thank you, Lisa, for answering that. Just a setting. Okay. So why didn't I send it to the Scan and Cut? I'm not ready to cut just yet. So I have learned over time that once you import these designs into your embroidery software and you convert them into an embroidery design, they may change shape. They may torque, twist, move just a tiny, tiny bit. So creating the SVG file for the embroidery design is best done in Embrilliance. Embrilliance will do that. Embrilliance embroidery software will create SVG cut files for you in that software. So that's what I want to do now. Okay. You guys are watching yourself. Okay. So FCM and SVG are the same file type. Yes. SVG was born from FCM files. FCM is a acronym for a mathematical algorithm that was developed by Microsoft. Okay. And the SVG was term, scalable vector graphic, was created because it can be better understood by people like you and me that are not engineer mathematicians. Okay. So scalable vector graphic means you can move it big, it's bigger, smaller, whatever. You could make this joy pillow in a 5x7 or a little 4x4 if you wanted. You could scale it down that small if you wanted to. Okay. I need to eject this mat. Let me turn you guys. I don't want it to eject for me. So I'm going to hit eject. Oh, tell it okay. And okay to delete. I'm going to tell it yes, because I've already saved it in the cloud. All right, I'll put this away. Oh, there's my picture. This cow was kind of a challenge too on this one on the bunny hill. See that? Everything's got to be redrawn so that it's up underneath the piece that it sits behind. That's a challenge. I'm going to go, let me see, go to home. Okay, there we go. All right. You can use a large, yeah. You know what? I was just thinking, Debbie, that I need a dust cover for my multi-needle. It's a mess. It is a mess. I hate doing any kind of dusting underneath those threads. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's go to Embrilliance, shall we? Embrilliance is launched. Okay. Let me share my screen. And we're going to go again to the infinity screen for a minute, just a second here. And then I'm going to go to Embrilliance. Okay. So I want to bring in that vector graphic. So I need to get into Stitch Artist, which is this icon right here. I wish it said Stitch Artist. Instead, it says Create Designs. But anyway, I'm going to click that. And that's when I get the button in Stitch Artist 2 or 3 that says Vector. If you only have Stitch Artist 1, you don't see that. And I'm going to go to my downloads. And there it is right there. And bring it in and tell it open. Okay, those look great. They look really good. Nice and clean. Real good. So I'm going to select all just to see if we have any movement in these letters at all. And if there's movement, it's because of the way the pattern was designed by the graphic department at the printing company. So I'm going to come up to Create, Outline, and Reconstruct Outline. If there's any movement, you'll see it now. This Reconstruct Outline is only in Stitch Artist 3. So, you know, I'd wait till when there's a coupon. Do you guys see this right here? It looks like a little jiggle. I wonder if that's going to move. Let's see. Let me do Reconstruct Outline. Ah, that O did move a tiny bit. Did you guys see that? It just shifted a teeny tiny bit. And that is because of the graphic department at the print company doing all this in layers. And so it the computer software in Embrilliance just straightened everything up. So all of the little holes are closed and everything looks good. All right. So it does not, if you want to do these all on one big long piece of fabric and figure out where they all want to go, you can. That's really kind of difficult. It's too much trouble for what I'm doing right now. So I just want to make these into applique. And I'm going to take this Y, right click, move last, just for my brain so it looks right there. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. I'm going to select the whole thing. And I'm going to click the applique button right here up at the top. Ta-da! Okay, we're done. The video's over. I'm kidding. So these are kind of tiny. Let me get down here. Now that we've got applique down here in the bottom in the properties box, we have applique. My stitch length is 2. My stitch width is 2. That actually looks very good on fabric. That's kind of my favorite setting right there. Okay, that looks great. If you did yours, I was using a blanket stitch yesterday on this, and so it defaults to an E stitch. And if yours is an E stitch, you can come over here to this drop-down menu and just choose blanket. And that makes it nice and clean. And then you can change your stuff to whatever you want. So it just switched to 2.5 by 2. Let me go back to 2.0 and enter. Okay. That looks great. That looks really, really good. Okay. I want to show you guys. Let me save this now. I'm going to go to File, and I want to save the working file as. And I'm going to, it says .be up here. I'm just going to change it to JOY-BE. I put that in my naming convention. BE is the working file format for Embrilliance. BE is. It stands for Becky's Embroidery. No, it doesn't. But that is the working file format. Okay. So all changes to this are going to be made in the working file, not in your embroidery design. So I'm going to tell it save. Now look up here. Oh, I called it Jot. Oh, let me go. File, save working file as. Why didn't you guys tell me I misspelled it? Well, you did probably, but I didn't see it. Joy.be and save. Okay, so I have 2. I'll delete the other one. Okay. So now I'm ready to cut these out almost. Okay. So over here we have, when it was just the lines, this said line right here, and we had just black. That's all we had was the black. So now that it's applique, we have an applique position and the final stitch. Applique position, final stitch for each one of them. I'm going to click on one of the applique positions, and it opens up a thread dialog box. We have color. This is where you can change your color. This is what you see by default. I'm going to go to applique, and then there's a cutting section right here. This is how you create SVG files. Okay. So inflate, the default is 1.5, change it to 0.0, and we have save and save all. I'm going to save all, and I'm going to save all to JOY dash. Now I'm going to call it EMB dash SVG. This tells me that I created these SVG files in Embrilliance. This is my own personal naming convention structure that I like to use. And I'll show you. Let me hit save. The reason I put that in there, the reason I put it in there is because, see up here at the top in my screen, it just says Joy-BE. If I did not put that BE there, and that's because this is a Mac. The Windows machines will show BE, the suffix on the file type, okay? The Mac does not, so I have BE up there, so I know that this is the working file. Okay, so let's go back to Brother Canvas. And this is just the joy from the canvas. I'm going to go to New. And then right here, there is an SVG button. And I'm going to click that. And it wants me to choose a file. And I'm going to go to my downloads where I save that Joy Embroidery Embrilliance SVG file and open. And okay. Since the shape was larger than the mat, it was reduced in size when imported. That is not good. So I'm going to X out of this. It reduced the size so they all fit on the mat. I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to go to project. I'm going to give myself a 24-inch mat. We do not need any drama like that at all. I'm going to click the SVG button again, and it already has it in its memory, and I'm going to click OK. There we go. Now everything's the right size. It's hard to see, so I'm going to highlight them all. That is the thread color from Embrilliance. I'm going to highlight them all, and I'm going to come up here to the properties box, and I'm going to change it to black so I can see it. And that's good. All right. Now, these, if you notice, these are two separate pieces. I don't want them to be two separate pieces. They came apart in Embrilliance. Right click and group. Okay, I want that there. I want this down here. And I want this right here. All right, that looks, just make sure I've got enough fabric, room for the extra fabric all the way around. I may not. We'll scan it in and figure it all out. All right, and then for the project title, I'm going to call it JOY-EMB. So I know that these letters came from Embrilliance, and I'm going to save it in the inbox. Okay, saving is completed. That's good. Now I'm going to download it again, and I'm going to save it to the scan and cut so that I can cut out my fabrics. There. Cool. So I'm going to go back to Embrilliance. Again, up here, this is the FCM file. See that? That FCM? This is not an embroidery design. It's a working file. So I'm going to come up here to File. Oh, no, I'm not. This is what I want to do. I'm going to take the J, and I'm going to right-click and copy. And I'm going to, oh, I'm sorry, not the J. Let's get the O. All right. Right click, copy. I'm going to make a new page. Right click, paste. I want to put it into the center of the design. Let me get out of Stitch Artist by clicking on the select key and center in the hoop. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to save this as File, Save, Stitch File as Joy-O PES and then dash PES. Okay. And I'm going to save it. Now up here, it didn't change. This should be the OBE file. So I'm still in a working file. But if I come over here and click New and Open, there's my OPES and Open. Now it says PES, Joy O PES. And if I click the down arrow or this arrow here to open it up, there's my applique position, and there's my embroidery final design. Perfect. So there's the O. I want these to be 3 separate designs because I'm going to save them in 3 different, I'm going to stitch them in 3 different hoopings. I've got a double stitch right here at the top of this that I don't like. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's weird. So I'm going to get rid of one of them. I'm going to go into Enthusiast by clicking the Stitch Edit button. And this one right here, I'm going to highlight it and hit delete on the keyboard. There, that looks great. And go back. Perfect. Okay, Since I made a change, it has a little star asterisk on the tab and also up at the top. And so I'm going to Control S, Command S on a Mac to save it, replace. Okay, good. That looks good. Let's go back here to my BE, all right. The Y, same thing, okay. I'm going to select the Y and right click copy. I'm going to go to new, right click, paste, center in the hoop, and file, save stitch file as JOY dash, this is the Y, PES, and save. Okay, and then back to this one right here. So now what I'm going to do is wear this. I think I want to leave this original. There's the O, BE file. Let me get out of that. Okay, I'll just do the J. I was going to just leave this as the J, but I think I want to leave my original download. I'll just do new, right click, paste, center in the hoop, file, save stitch file as, and JOY dash J dash PES. That way I know, okay, everything's there. All my embroidery files are good. So if I go into my Finder here, go to my downloads, there's my JPES, my OPES, and my YPES. So now I can send all of these to an embroidery machine and get them stitched out. Okay, that was fast, right? Let's go back over here and back here and remove that. And okay. Can I rotate the Y so it'll fit 12-inch? When you can, and you need to make sure you do that before you add embroidery stitches to it. Do everything in the line files. So I'm not going to be embroidering those today. This is not about embroidering. Today was about teaching you how to convert a paper pattern into an embroidery design and kind of go through the naming conventions of why I do what I do, and then how to also get the stitches changed. So on these, like I added a blanket stitch, the pattern has it as a satin. And in that drop down, there is a satin, and you can do that as well. I don't want to do that, okay? I want to use no-show mesh. You guys are tilted, sorry. I want to use no-show mesh as the stabilizer behind my fabric. So say again why I separated the letters. In the pattern, our Jenkins, they are 3 separate embroidery designs. They're 3 different panels sewn together because it's an 18-inch long, right? Unless you've got that new Avenir, I don't think they'll fit. So yeah, they're all 3 different. It's designed to be 3 different stitch outs, okay? There's the line drawing of it. See? That's why I did 3 different ones. So I'll stitch these out today. I am going to use the blanket stitch. I'm going to use the thread color that closely matches the fabric as best I can. And I'm going to only use no-show mesh stabilizer behind it because I think I don't know. See, I think what I want to do is sew all of the pieces off. This is what I think I want to do. I think I want to sew all of these together and then add these on, okay? And then I'm going to use maybe the winter stitch in the clear blue tiles from Kimberbell. Okay, I might use a Designs by Juju background quilting over all of it, and then applique the letters on so that I don't have background quilting over the top of my letters. On the pattern, on the picture, if you look very close, they did ginormous big cross hatching on this pillow. And they went, I don't know if you can see it. They went right through the letters. See right here? They went right across the top of the applique. I'm not sure I want to do that. So it's completely up to me how I want to do that. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to cut my 3 pieces of fabric so that, and I will go ahead and put some SF101 on the back of this white fabric, on the back of these 3 pieces. Okay. If you are going to satin stitch these, if you have the embroidery design and the embroidery design, that one, it's an additional $12.99. See, I just saved myself 13 bucks. Isn't that nice? So if you want to do that and you're going to do the satin stitch like it says, you definitely need SF101 on the back side of your fabric. Okay. You definitely need that. What size hoop? It looks like these can be made in a 5x7. So this says embroidery design on this pattern, optional and sold separately. So the joy letters, you know, are in here. And so I didn't need to spend the $12.99. But I've got it linked below if you want to do that and have this pretty little joy pillow hanging around your house for Christmas. I thought October 1st was a great day to get that started. Right? So, okay. Assigning stitches is a stitch artist function. Yeah. That is exactly right, Debbie. That is exactly right. So people want to know, can they, well, it says it's a satin stitch. Can I put it into Embrilliance and change the satin stitch to a blanket? You cannot. Usually, you are not allowed from the designer of the pattern, the digitizer, to change anything in the design other than maybe scaling it a little bit smaller or larger. You've pulled out your clear blue tiles. Excellent, Kay. Yes. So they did a webinar yesterday. Kim did. And so this is a perfect excuse to use your clear blue tiles. And that winter design with the snowflake swirls, precious, just adorable. And I think it would be perfect on this. So that's my intention. I think I'm going to do the clear blue tiles on that. So Sandy, thank you. She says, great show, lots of info. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, you guys give a thumbs up. Absolutely, give a thumbs up. You were sent the embroidery files when you bought the pattern. Right, Quilt Wench. When you bought the embroidery design, you get the files. I only bought the fabric kit. I didn't get the embroidery design with it. I don't think. Because it says optional and sold separately on the back of the fabric kit. So anyway, if you're doing something like Designs by Juju's birth announcement, there are certain pieces on there, the name, the date, the weight, the length, etc., that you are allowed to change. And the digitizer will go in there and say, okay, you guys can change this, right? Oh my gosh, y'all, I got a video today. If you go on to Designs by Juju's website, or they sent out an email, and I got there's a video of the new design releases for October for Christmas. Oh my goodness, they're precious. There's not enough hours in the day. All right, you guys, this is it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please give the video a thumbs up. That's free to do. And subscribe, also free. And if you join the membership, you're going to get some deep dives into Embrilliance and Snapplique and Scan and Cut and all of that. So, all right. I love y'all. Enjoy. Oh, I got it. Darn it. I meant to say at the beginning of the video and I forgot. Darn it. Darn it. Hot Fix Adhesive has 2 sets of tickets